Hello students, in our previous class we studied about monohybrid cross, but in this class we will study about dihybrid cross. So first question is, what is dihybrid cross? A cross in which two characters are studied simultaneously. Okay, a cross between two organisms or two plants or animals having two pairs of contrasting traits. That cross is called dihybrid cross. And according to Mendelism, what Mendel did during dihybrid cross, he crossed pea plants having round and yellow seeds with the pea plants having wrinkled green seeds. The genotype of the first parent was capital R, capital Y, capital Y, and the genotype of the second parent was small r, and small y. When these types of plants produce their gametes, first plant produced capital R, capital Y, and second plant produced small r, small y. When they got fertilized in F1 generation, all the plants were having the genotype capital R, capital Y, small y, and the phenotype round and yellow seeds. Students, all the plants in F1 generation were having round and yellow seeds, and their genotype was capital R, and capital Y, small y. This was the parental cross. And when Mendel did their F1 cross means when the F1 generation is self-pollinated, self-crossed. In that cross, Mendel took plants having round and yellow seeds with genotype capital R, capital Y, small y, and crossed them with each other. Then they produce gametes of four types: capital R, capital Y, small r, small y. Capital Y. So there are four types of gametes produced by first plant and same four types of gametes produced by another plant. And when it was observed in F2 generation, this is F2 generation, then 16 types of genotypes were obtained during F2 generation, and their ratio, the ratio of the genotypes, the ratio of, that is dihybrid cross, the phenotypic ratio was 9:3:3:1. Among these 9 plants, 9 represents plants with round and yellow seeds, 3 represented round and green seeds, another 3 represent wrinkled and yellow seeds, and the last one represented wrinkled and green seeds. So 9 plants were round and yellow seeds, 3 plants were round and green seeds, and 3 wrinkled and yellow seeds, and last one was wrinkled and green seeds. So students, we saw that during this dihybrid cross in F2 generation, 9 and 1, these 10 plants were were same as parents, and another these 3 and these 3 means 6 plants were hybrids. These shows the variations. Okay, and the genotypic ratio of this cross, dihybrid cross, was 1:2:1:2, 4:2, 1:2:1. This is not in the syllabus, but if you want to learn it, you can do it. Okay, from this dihybrid cross, Mendel concluded one important law, that is law of independent assortment. According to this law, the gametes, according to this law, if there are two genes which control two different characters, these two genes do not depend on each other. Whether the first gene and the second gene which will go in any gamete. They are not dependent on each other. It means if the gene controlling the shape of the seeds and the gene controlling the color of the seeds, both the genes are independent to each other in going to the gametes. Okay, so according to the law of independent assortment, when crossing occurs between individuals having two pairs of contrasting traits, the inheritance of any one pair is not affected by the presence of the other. That was third law given by Mendel, law of independent assortment. Okay, this is about law of independent assortment. Now our next topic is, how do these traits get expressed? Students, genes are responsible for passing on the traits from parents to their offsprings during sexual reproduction, right? We can take one example. If male has black hair, this is his phenotype, and its genotype was capital B, capital B. And if he marries the woman having brown hair with genotype small b, small b, the male will produce one type of gamete, that is capital B. The female will produce one type of gamete, that is small b. When they fertilize, both their offspring might be having both type of alleles, capital B and small b. So what will be the color of the hair? That is black color. It means if this gene capital B, this is dominant gene, it is suppressing the character of this small b and showing its own character, right? If this gene is in dominating form, then it shows dominating trait. If there are two recessive genes, then the color of the hair of the offspring would be brown. So how traits are get expressed? Traits are expressed by having dominant gene or recessive gene. Okay, so how can we conclude it? One gene produces one gene codes for one protein, and in turn this one protein may either form enzyme, hormone, or any other important function, right? So one gene codes for one protein in our body, and one protein controls our one character. For example, in plants, capital T controls the height of the plant, right? If the plant has genotype capital T and small t, or capital T, capital T, it means this is dominating and this is also dominating. So these two genotypes are dominating traits. This will express more and protein will form in more amount. Which protein? Auxins, right? Because auxins are the hormones which help in the increase in the height of plant. So if capital T is in dominating trait, in dominating form in the plant, it will produce more protein, and this protein will make more hormones and the height of the plant will be increased. But if this gene is in recessive form, then this gene will code less for this protein, which makes auxin hormone and which result in the short height of the plant. So characters depends on the type of allele, whether it is dominant or recessive. This is how genes control characters. Dominating gene and recessive gene control characters.